Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors. I'm Daniel, and thanks for tuning in to another fishing report. Now, before we get into today's fishing report, I do want to remind you guys your fishing license has expired. You do need to buy a new license before going out fishing again. But once you got that license, you're good to go. We have plenty of ice still, and I would guess we probably have 4 to 6 weeks at least of ice fishing left in this season. Now, if you guys could, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, maybe share this out. Really helps us out. And like usual, if you guys do use any of the resorts or guides in the fishing report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. And with that being said, let's dive into today's report. All right, today we are going to start out on Mille Lacs Lake out of the Isle Bay area. I talked to Jeff from Castles Resort. They are planning on having their access open this coming weekend. They're going to be cleaning some things up after the snow we just got, but they should be good to go. Their roads will be inside the bay. They're going to be plowing for perch and pike areas. So if you want to get out on Mille Lacs and chase some perch or pike, there is plenty of opportunity to do that there in Isle Bay. Now, one other thing not a lot of people know about, there is crappies in Isle Bay. They are not the easiest to get on, but you can find them, and typically they are really big out there. Now, as far as the perch go, be prepared to jig a buckshot spoon and a minnow head, or downsizing to a small tungsten and a wax worm. From day to day, the bite changes. Sometimes they're aggressive, they'll hit that spoon. Some days they're a little finicky, and they want a wax worm on a small tungsten jig. Now for the northern pike, big sucker minnows or frozen smelt have been working good. There's some really big pike out there. Set it probably 2 to 3 feet off bottom in anywhere from 7 to 14 feet of water, and you're more than likely going to happen onto some nice pike out there. Now, Castles Resort on March 11th, they are hosting the first ever Flag Fest out there on Isle Bay. It's going to be a big tip-up fishing party for northern pike. You can jig for perch, you can jig for pike, you can chase crappies, whatever you want to do. But it is focused on the tip-up fishing for northern pike. There is going to be a contest. You could win some really awesome prizes. They're going to have some food. Everybody's just going to be hanging out. Rachel and I and the girls will be up there, so hopefully we'll run into a bunch of you. We'll probably be grilling out on the ice, depending on the weather. Maybe we'll bring some cornhole and play some cornhole with people. But overall, Flag Fest is going to be a blast, so hopefully you guys can make it up there. Now, for Flag Fest, they are going to have spots to park your ice castles, wheelhouses, whatever you want to bring up. There will be parking spots for that. You can stay overnight, so you can fish the entire weekend, but Saturday is the day of the contest. Now, Castles Resort, they are going to have sucker minnows for pike fishing, so if you want to buy some sucker minnows, they will have those for sale. They have limited tackle and other fishing supplies in their lodge, so make sure you stop in there and load up on what you need. Now, they also can fill propane for your wheelhouses, so if you need some propane, don't be afraid to ask. So if you guys are looking to get out up on Mille Lacs Lake out of the Isle Bay area, go ahead and call Jeff from Castles Resort. Jeff also wanted me to mention that their fish house rentals will be discounted the next couple of weekends, but you do have to call to book those. Don't book them online. They are 50% off for these next couple weekends. So go ahead, give them a call and book a fish house for this upcoming weekend. All right, now moving over to Lake Winnibigoshish. I talked to Chad from the Pines Resort today. Their access is going to remain open. They are no longer maintaining their roads, but Chad was out on the roads today. He told me they had about 4 inches of snow. He said it still is no problem to get around. He did say watch out for some of the drifts out there, but they have plenty of ice. The roads are in good shape still. They're just covered with about 4 inches of snow currently. Now, Lake Winnie, There's tulibies to chase, there's eel pout, there's bluegills, crappies, perch. So if you want to get out on Lake Winnie and chase those are all very targetable out of the Pines Resort. So go on up there and do some fishing before our ice is gone. Now, as far as bluegills, small tungsten jigs tipped with waxworms or Euro larva is working best. Now, if you want to get on a bunch of them, you're probably going to have to stay mobile. They are cruising around up in the shallows there. Sometimes you can set up and you'll just hammer a bunch of them out. But the best bet is to stay mobile and be hopping around. Now, as far as crappies go, they have been catching some monster crappies up in shallow, but I did talk to a guy this past weekend. He was out on a deep hole on the river channel and he got into some really big crappies out there, 15, 16-inch crappies. So either deep holes on the river channel or try and shallow on the weed lines and you might find yourself a really nice batch of crappies. Now, if you're looking for perch, the perch are anywhere from 9 to 22 feet of water right now. You are going to have to stay mobile, drill holes, hop around, find the school. Once you do find the school, it is going to be easier to stay on them and pick off a bunch of nice perch. There is some really nice big perch in the bay right now, so highly recommend getting up there and chasing some perch if that's what you're looking for. Now, as far as eel pout, they are catching eel pout anywhere from 12 out to 24 feet of water. You got to be set up on transitions. They are getting ready to spawn here. So set up on some of them shallower transitions. After dark primarily, close to bottom, big glow spoons, and you might catch yourself a really beautiful eel pout up on Lake Winnie. Now, as far as tulibies, we were up there this past weekend. We found some in 23 feet of water on a hump, but I know that people are catching them out in the deep basins as well. So if you're chasing tulibies, I probably would recommend finding those deeper basins to chase them in. That seems to hold the majority of the tulibi out there. And for those, I would use a small tungsten jig and a waxworm. Now, the Pines Resort, they do have cabins available, so if you'd like to stay in a cabin and then go out during the day with a portable, that is an option. Also, you can bring your ice castle out on the lake still, but if you don't want to do that, they are allowing ice castles to park up by the resort. You can camp there. It's $25 a night. That includes showers and a heated fish cleaning shack. So that is a great option if you want to do that as well. Now, the Pines Resort, they do have a full bar and restaurant. So go in there, get some food, grab a drink, and just have a blast while you're up on Lake Winnie. So if you're looking to get up to Lake Winnie this coming weekend, go ahead and call Chad from the Pines Resort. All right, now moving over to Leech Lake. I talked to the guys from Horseshoe Bay Lodge today, and their access is still open. They did get about 3 to 4 inches of snow up there, but they do not foresee that being an issue. Now, they are no longer maintaining their roads, but they are keeping them open. Now, as far as what you can chase out there, there is still eel pout, tulibi, whitefish, and perch. Now, as far as perch fishing goes, they told me that the perch are hanging out in the mud right now in 16 to 21 feet of water. There's plenty of access to the mud on several of their roads out there, so when you stop in and get a road pass, make sure you talk to them and they will point you in the direction of the hottest perch bite as of that time. Now, the best ways to catch those, be prepared to jig a small buckshot spoon or a small tungsten. Depending on the day, they may prefer one or the other. Now, eel pout. He told me that anywhere from 14 to 21 feet of water on gradual breaks has been producing the most eel pout. As for catching them, big glow spoons. Tip them with 1, 2, or even 3 fatheads. Put down some big glow jigs as well, close to the bottom. tip them with a bunch of minnows, and that's how you are going to catch those eel pout. Now, the people who have been actively jigging, they are catching a lot more fish than people who are just setting lines and leaving them alone. So make sure you're jigging, especially at those prime time bites, and you will put some eel pout topside. Now, as far as tulipy and whitefish, those are still out deep, 26 foot and deeper. They're finding them in the basins or on the edges of the basins. The best way to catch those right now are with a small tungsten jig tipped with a red or black plastic. Now, waxworms and Euro larvae will work too, but those plastics have been outperforming the live bait as of right now. Now, one other technique you can use for catching those tulipy and whitefish is, if you like jigging a bigger bait, the Berkeley Vibrato in gold or pink has been producing some really nice tulipy and whitefish. So if you want to do that, go ahead, pick some of them up on your way to the lake, and you might catch yourself some really big fish. Now, Horseshoe Bay Lodge, the hotel and bar and restaurant are still open. So if you want to stay up on shore and then chase some fish out in portables, that is a great option. But regardless, when you're up there, make sure you stop in at Iron Fire Bar and Grill, get yourself some delicious food and drinks, and have a blast up there on Leech Lake. Now, just want to remind you guys, open water season is coming really fast. If you are looking to book a guided trip for Lake Winnie, we highly recommend Scott from zupsguideservice. He told me his books are starting to fill up pretty quick, so get your calendar out, find a date that will work for you, and book yourself a guide trip out on Lake Winnie. Now, if you're looking for a guided trip out on Leech Lake, we highly recommend the guys from Leech Lake Guide Team LLC. Go ahead, look them up. We put all of the guides and resorts information down in the description. So go down there, search through them, find what lake or resort you're looking for. Click on those links, follow them to their pages, and book yourself a trip of a lifetime. Now, Leech Lake Guide Team, they guide for anything from panfish, perch, walleye, muskie, bass, whitefish. Whatever you're looking to target, those guys can help get you on them. So go ahead, give them a call, and get a trip booked with them. Now, if you're looking to book a guide trip out on Mille Lacs Lake, Mark from the Norseman Guide Service, he is a legendary smallmouth guide out there. The best months are usually May and June. Those dates fill up really quick. So if you want to chase some world-class smallmouth bass, get in touch with Mark and get a trip booked as soon as you can. Well, guys, that is going to do it for this week's fishing report. Really appreciate you guys tuning in to all these reports. We will be going for a couple weeks yet, so make sure you're tuning in every Thursday at 10 a.m. Now, if you guys get out fishing this weekend, we wish you luck. Be safe. Don't crowd your neighbor. Be respectful of other fishermen. Don't dump your sewage on the lake. Pick up your trash. But most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get living.